How do you think the video online content will still play, if at all, within the art form that is opera?
I imagine that, with all of the inevitable expense that people are in, companies and people are putting out to be able to produce these things, it's going to be beneficial and useful in the end to continue doing it, to make it worth the investment, not just for this year, but for the future. I mean, as it is, we've already had so many, I've been on so many, I never like to know, but I've been in productions where it's like the very first show is live streamed to Facebook or live streamed to their website, all these sort of things. And I think it's just become more common. And I think at some point, online ticket sales for, not just one performance will probably be available. You know what I mean? I think some things like that may become a thing.
I want to ask you about actually origins.
Yeah.
How did you discover that you have this gorgeous singing voice, and how did music first enter your life, if you can remember those early times?
Oh man. Okay, so one of the, I had family that a lot of family played music. I recently found out, I didn't know at the time, but my uncle was in a rock band for a while on my dad's side. I always knew that he was into music. He has, he has a room dedicated to music. He's got guitars everywhere. He creates jazz music. He's got, synthesizers. He's got everything. He loves this stuff. On my dad's side, on my mom's side, I had two uncles. I have one uncle now. That played Tejano music and conjunto, like that's, that sort of thing. And it was totally different from opera, of course, but there was always music around. My brother played clarinet, in marching band. And for me personally, when I started with music, I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why. I had a little tiny piano, that you give to kids. Mm-hmm. and I liked playing on it, right? It was like an octave range sort of a thing. And I liked to play around with it. I guess I was young and it was fun. So I told my mom that literally in the same question, I said, I want to take karate lessons and I want to take piano lessons.
Wow.
And so I got both. I quit karate after about a year. And piano I stuck with for about 6 or 7 years. And when I moved from Laredo to San Antonio, there was a little sticky note that was attached to my record, my student record, from my third grade teacher in Laredo saying, "Get him in choir, he has a beautiful voice." Oh. Now, we used to sing the national anthem pretty regularly in school. And so that's how she heard my singing voice as a little boy soprano. But I was hardly ever in class though, because the music teacher always wanted me to go and play for the older kids. So I'd play piano. I was fairly talented with piano, but my hands, they're a little small. So eventually I reached the limit of what I could do. And so I got into the San Antonio Boys Choir in San Antonio. And after my first year there, it was a choir tour in London. And my little brain kind of said, well, 1 year of singing, I got to go to London. 7 years of piano, and I got to play in Mall del Norte or something like that in Laredo, I think is where I got to play in a mall. I'm like, okay. Clearly singing is the way I should probably be going, because this is looking like it's going to have a better trajectory for me. And that's kind of how I ended up singing. I started with the San Antonio Boys Choir as a boy soprano, was with the choir for about 2 years. It would have been longer, but we had my grandfather had gotten sick and we could no longer afford the tuition and things like that. So I got into choir in school, and I was the only boy in the all-girls choir for a year. And because of me, that my middle school decided to create the following year a mixed choir. And then I and my voice changed in the middle of it, and my choir director teacher in middle school had a breakdown and was like crying and talking about how it was a beautiful thing and all these things, and my voice was changing in front of everybody. And I was mortified. It is what it is. Yeah, I was like, okay, this is really embarrassing. Can we just go on and then just keep singing? I don't want to talk about it. And, when you're young and the kid, it's a super embarrassing thing. And then I kind of sort of became a tenor. And then through that, and I wanted to be a high school choir director is what my original goal was. And I kind of just got steered towards opera. And I had never even, I always say the story that I never had seen an opera and I'd never been in opera. But the truth is, I sang in a mall, The Night Visitors.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
never, but I hadn't thought that that was an opera. To me, that wasn't an opera. That was something else. It never dawned on me until maybe 2 years ago or something. Till my wife told me. She's like, "You realize you've been singing opera since you were like 10, right?" I'm like, "No, what are you talking about?" And then she told me, it's like, Amal the Night Vision is an opera. I'm like, oh my God. I've been singing opera since I was really, really young, and I had no idea.
That's beautiful. But I want to go back to something you said, that because
Yeah.
of you, the school choir was changed to have it be mixed. And
Mm-hmm.
we don't even know how many lives you impacted, right? Indirectly, without planning to. That's sometimes what the pioneers and the trailblazers do without intending to.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah, I
own
never thought of that.
presence is what causes a shift. So that's beautiful, and I'm glad that our listeners and our viewers can know that about you. And
Yeah, that was
so
yeah, I never really thought of that. That's cool. Yeah.